Hello, students, and welcome! Have you ever wanted to just chat confidently in English, but maybe you weren't sure where to even start? Well, today we are going to break down the essentials of everyday English conversations. We'll be looking at something called informal interpersonal functions, which honestly is just a fancy way of saying we're going to master the art of the friendly chat.
You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You meet someone new, and suddenly your mind goes completely blank. What do I say? Well, you can relax. By the end of this session, you're going to have the tools to feel way more confident, starting and, more importantly, holding a conversation in English.
So what's our game plan? Here it is. We'll kick things off with the absolute basics. Then we'll dive into how to make a great first impression with greetings, introductions, and invitations. After that, we are going to tackle the super important skill of small talk before we wrap everything up with the key takeaways you can start using, like today.
All right, let's get into it. Section 1. The basics. Before we even think about specific words or phrases, we need to get our heads around the real goal of any conversation. Think of this part as laying down the foundation for the whole house we're about to build.
You know, it's so important to remember this. Conversation used to be considered a real art form. It's not just about trading facts like, what time is it? It's about sharing ideas, sharing experiences. It's about actually connecting with another person. A really good conversation, it builds relationships. And honestly, it can be a huge source of fun.
And every great work of art starts with that very first brush stroke. In conversation, that first stroke is the greeting. Getting this right is absolutely key to making a great first impression and, opening the door to a really good chat. Okay, the number one rule here is context. It is all about knowing which greeting to use and when. Formal greetings, those are for people in authority. Think teachers, bosses, and for elders. Informal greetings are for your crew, friends, family, classmates. It all comes down to your relationship with the person you're talking to. So here's a perfect example of an informal greeting. It's just two old friends meeting up. Notice the simple, friendly hello, and the response, welcome Prashant, take a seat. It's just as warm. It's so relaxed and personal, and it immediately makes everyone feel comfortable. Now let's switch gears and look at something more formal. How do you do is a classic. Now listen up, because this is a really important tip. This is not a real question about how you're feeling. The correct, polite response is just to say it right back. How do you do? That's it. Of course, you've got lots of options. Hi is super informal, perfect for your close friends. Hello is a safe bet. It's pretty neutral. Phrases like good morning or nice to see you are friendly and you can use them almost anywhere. And delighted to see you, well, that just adds a wonderful bit of extra warmth and enthusiasm.
Okay, so you've said hello. What comes next? Well, let's look at how to introduce yourself and other people, and also how to handle invitations without being awkward. Introducing yourself is actually pretty simple. You can just say, I'm your name, or my name is your name. But here's a huge cultural tip. In English, you never, ever give yourself a title. You wouldn't say, I'm Mr. Sharma. It sounds a bit strange. You let other people use the title for you. It's how they show you respect.
And here we have the perfect recipe for a great self-introduction. See the three parts? First, a simple greeting. Hello. Second, name and where he's from. I'm Naresh Tripathi from Convences. And third, a friendly wrap-up. Nice to meet you. This little formula is professional, it's clear, and it's friendly. You really can't go wrong with it.
All right, let's talk about invitations. The most important thing, whether you can go to the party or not, is just to be polite and clear. That's it. Let's look at a couple of ways to respond. To accept, you can use warm phrases like, I should be delighted, or even just a simple, I'd love to come. Now, when you have to say no, it's always best to be gentle. Instead of a flat no, giving a simple, short reason shows that you really appreciate the thought, even if you can't be there. It just softens everything and keeps the friendship strong.
So, knowing how to start is great, but knowing how to end a conversation smoothly, now that's a real skill. You don't want to just turn and walk away, right? The key is to first signal that you're about to leave, with phrases like, I think I should leave now, or, well, I'm in a hurry. And then, it's always a great idea to follow that up with something positive, like, it was nice spending time with you. This just leaves the other person feeling really good about the whole chat.
Now for something that is so much fun and incredibly useful, small talk. This is the art of the casual chat. You can think of small talk as the friendly glue that happens between the really big topics. It's what helps you build a connection with people.
So what is small talk, really?
It's just a light, easy conversation about general stuff. The point isn't to solve world hunger or have some deep debate. It's just to be friendly, to make people feel comfortable, and to create a nice little connection with the other person.
So what do you even talk about? The key is to stick to what we call safe topics. Things that pretty much everyone can talk about and that aren't controversial. Weather is the all-time champion because, well, everyone's experiencing it. Food, entertainment like movies or sports, and people you both might know are also fantastic choices because they invite opinions without getting too personal.
Here's a perfect example with the weather. It's something you're both sharing, so it's super easy to start a conversation this way. And notice how the second person doesn't just agree. They add a little bit of new information, the temperature. That's a great little trick for keeping the conversation moving forward.
Food is another amazing universal topic. I mean, who doesn't like to talk about food? Here, a simple offer of fruit sparks a really pleasant little chat. Talking about food can bring up memories, culture, shared tastes. It's a surprisingly powerful way to find common ground with someone.
And here we see how something you both enjoy, like a cricket match, can get a really lively conversation going. Topics like sports or movies are fantastic because they let people share their opinions and even disagree in a fun, friendly way. That shared passion, that excitement, is a powerful way to build a bond.
Wow, we have covered a lot today. So let's take a second and quickly run through the most important points from our lesson in a final summary.
Okay, let's put it all together. Just remember these 5 key steps for any friendly chat. 1. Open the door with the right greeting for the moment. 2. Introduce yourself clearly and with confidence. 3. Handle invitations with a bit of grace. 4. Keep the conversation feeling warm and fun with those safe small talk topics. And finally, 5. Always leave on a positive note by ending the conversation politely.
So, my question for you is, which of these tips are you going to try out first? Really think about it and try to use just one of them in your very next conversation. Remember, practice is what builds real confidence. For more clear explanations and daily IGNOU videos, subscribe to IGNOU Mind Decoded.